Hey guys, just got done watching 2013's Torment, and to be honest with you, this movie. It's got some good actors in it, but it's not that great. It didn't hold my attention, like a good horror film would, with suspense and tension and everything. The first part's all right to a degree, and it just kind of falls apart. So. And the cover is a lot like your next, like it's got a mouse on the front, like like a mouse mask thing. You'll see it in the picture anyway. Anyway, it's got Catherine Isabel in it from See No Evil 2, Ginger Snaps, American Mary, you name it basically. I didn't even realise she was in See No Evil 2 until I saw the name again. I was like, ooh, so that was the girl from Ginger Snaps. I thought it was her when I saw it, but I wasn't sure. It's got My Good Man in it, Robin Dunn, who was in Cruel Intentions 2 and was in Scarecrow, which I reviewed quite recently, the 2013 film, or was it 2014? Whatever. It's in my last few reviews. I reviewed it yesterday. It's got Peter de Chunha in it, Noah Danby, Inessa Fantawisky, Amy Forsyth, Bill Colgate, Adrian Wilson, and Cetera Hewlett. The movie basically starts out with this married couple. They're supposed to be young, but they're not exactly young, if you ask me. He was young when he was in. Robin Dunn was young when he was in Core Intentions, and that was like 14 years ago now. But anyway, get off of that. So, young married couple, they get together, and basically, Corey, played by Robin Dunn, has a son called Liam. And basically he's from a previous marriage and the mother died. Now, I thought to myself, is this a plot twist? Did she die or did she disappear? Hmm. And Sarah's played by Catherine Isabel, basically. So they go back to an old family cabin. They find that the basement door is broken, but it's still in place because at the beginning of the movie, two people get killed, and the daughter is in the bedroom going like this, oh yeah, and listening to her thing. She turns and there's three people behind her with masks on, and they give these clippers to this bloke, hedge trimmers, I think they are. I don't know, I don't care, scissor things, and she the little one takes it, goes up to her, she goes and you're like, uh-oh. So basically they find it all empty, no one there. So basically, Corey's sorting the place out, like nailing the basement door shut, even though he does an appalling job of it, because realistically he did it the wrong way. And basically, Sarah's trying to build a relationship with Liam. She goes, "Me and your dad love you, Liam," and he goes, "Well, I don't love you," and you're like, "Oh, Liam," and he's a little bit of a, at all. But then, what do you expect? He's only a young kid. He's lost his mum, and he's probably a little bit gutted, and he's probably a little bit jealous. But because she's not his mum, because the maternal instinct, if you have the right parents, that is, can be quite a strong one, even when you're a kid. So anyway, so basically, they're arguing, and all of a sudden, these people decide they want to turn up and attack them. One's called Mr. Mouse, one's called Little Monkey, and then you've got Pig Lady, and then you've got another one who I can't remember the name. Little Rabbit. That's it, Little Rabbit. So, and I'm guessing Hitchcock too. So they're kind of going around and they're stalking them and they're chasing them. It's like a home invasion movie. But that's where the movie starts failing because they're just running about catching them. And there's a bit in it where they've got hold of Corey and they're torturing him. And he says to him, Mr. Monkey says to him, so Mr. Mouse says to him, "Be honest. Tell your son you don't love him anymore, or we will kill him. We will kill him because you need to tell the truth." And you're sitting there going, why does he think he doesn't love him? then basically he tortures him some more. So because they threatened to kill Liam, Corey goes, "I hate you. I don't like you. I want you to die," and all this stuff. You know, like, "I hate you, son," because so he goes, "Good, good, good, Mr. Mouse," and they go, "Here's one of us now. We will look after the little boy," and you're just like. The girls, the is Sarah. I think it's Sarah. She gets chased by him, and basically they just seem to run around the house and run outside, and there's nothing really to it, you know. And it gets really boring because they're just following them about, and you're like, why aren't they killing them? You know, they've got them so easily. Kill them. Nope, because the movie would end in 25 minutes. If she did that, you'd move within 25 minutes to 40 minutes. So you're sitting there going, oh, come on. Then Corey gets away and he's like running about all normal, no pains in his chest or anything. And you're like, ooh, yep, yep. There's a great scene though where they call the sheriff and basically, yeah, they call Officer Hawkins. And then all of a sudden his car turns up. He's like, Officer Hawkins! Officer Hawkins! And then it turns out he's all tied up and the car blows up. And you're like, very good, you know. So basically, they just get chased around and you're sitting there going, okay, what's going to happen? Sarah falls down the stairs, practically gets knocked out, and they just follow him. Mr. Mouse is quite creepy with the way he walks, because he walks a bit like, I'm going to kill you no matter what, so no matter how far you run, or how bad you are, I'm going to get you. You know, because you're a bad girl, Sarah. He doesn't say that, but you can tell he's thinking it. And you're just sitting there going, come on, come on. Then you get near the end. And Catherine is, no, sorry, not Catherine. I don't know what Sarah, played by Catherine is, but I'm getting the wrong name now. She basically gets away and she gets outside because she gets one of them. And Corey electrocutes one of them in the face and he dies. And he takes his son off in the woods and he hears Sarah screaming, so he tells his son to wait there in the woods. That's right, in the most safest place possible when there's psychopathic killers around. I'm going to tell my little boy, stay in the woods. Because you'll be able to live with that if something happens to him. So he goes back, Sarah runs out, and basically she goes, oh, and they hug and they have this real make-out, says, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, not the time, not appropriate. If that was me, I'd run up to her, get around, I'd say, let's get the hell out of here. And I'd be running as fast as I could. So basically, all of a sudden, he goes, oh, and she turns around and he gets shot right in the chest and he dies. That's right. Corey dies because he didn't grab her hand and run off with her. He just decided to hug her and kiss her and screw Liam. So Sarah decides to run for it. And let me get the right name. Little Rabbit decides to follow her because he's got a gun. Now, Little Rabbit, you're supposed to feel is a kid, a child. Little Rabbit's meant to be a child. You know, well, that's what you're supposed to think. But, and I've missed a key point out here, so I've got to push us back again. There's a bit where Corey goes running down, he's in the basement, and he finds Liam. And he goes, I love you, I didn't mean to tell you that, I was forced to do that. And then someone comes up behind him and goes, he is a part of us now. And that's what I could imagine Tom Hardy as Bane going, you will sacrifice yourself and you will give us the boy. Give us the boy. But no. So then the mask comes off and you find out that it's none other than I know, I thought it was going to be his mother. I thought it was going to be Liam's mother, but it wasn't. It was Mary Bronson, the girl from the beginning of the film. And you're like, you know, you're like, And basically he knocks her out, and then that's when the thing happens where basically he gets shot and she runs off and Liam's out there. So she runs off. Sarah. Liam's in the woods. He goes like this. All of a sudden he hears crackling, and you know, you're hiding. You're a good hider, Liam, because this is what every person who's meant to be hiding does. Dad, is that you? Dad, Dad, and you're like, oh my word, this kid wants to get butchered, or he wants them to take him into their hillbilly living lifestyle. So Sarah grabs hold of him and goes, and you're like, yay, stab him in the chest because he's annoying. So basically, then the killer turns up, and Little Rabbit turns up, and she says to him, "Don't kill the boy." So he decides to move the gun to the boy, and he clicks, no ammo, or for some reason won't go off. Whew, we don't want to see kids getting butchered in these films, do we? That would be horrendous. I'd like it. That's why I like Italian cinema. Right in the house by the cemetery, the boy gets it right in the back of the head. I love that. But anyway, different film, different view. So basically, you're sitting there going, "Oh, okay." So she goes, "Run, Liam, run!" And she goes after the bloke, beats him up, hits him, and all this. And then we get to basically the police there and sitting in the back of the ambulance, and they go, "Ooh." They go, "Ooh." They go, "Oh dear, that girl has been missing for so long, and she's in the back of the police car." Now, you remember, she was a home invasion. She did a home invasion with these people. She tried to kill them. She attacked them. She witnessed Corey being tortured and so forth. But they're going to take her to a special place where she needs to figure out who she is. And the police officer, none other than Deputy, that's the name, Deputy, the Deputy, decides she wants to take the girl for some burger and fries. Yeah, she goes, "I bet you haven't had a burger and fries in a long time. Do you want to get some?" And the girl goes, and you're like, "Oh." So if I go missing for 6 months from YouTube, and I've gone and killed a whole load of people, and I've hurt people, and I've done things, when I'm found, I can go and get some burger and fries. I know she's supposed to be a girl, and I know she's probably been brainwashed and so forth, but you just can't help but think, what a load of crap. So then you see a little rabbit being put in the back of an ambulance, and they're going, he can't talk and all this, and it turns out he's got staples in his neck or in his face, holding the mask in, and the paramedic's trying to get him out, and he goes, "Oh." At that moment, I thought Corey's still alive and Corey's in the mask, and the real person's going to jump out and get him or something. No, didn't happen. Corey was dead. Dead as a door now, and they had the Mr. Mouse mask and they put it in the deputy's car. Right? So the deputy's driving off down the highway and something hits the windscreen. Oh yeah. The deputy decides to get out of the car. Go blah 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 on the radio. Now, me personally, I'd have kept driving. I'd have kept driving until I got to civilization. Because when you hear crazy stuff like it goes down, you don't want to pull over in the middle of nowhere where there's no one else. So she goes outside, she turns around, there's this big massive hillbilly. And you don't see his face, but you see his clothes. And he smashes her head in, and he gets in the car, and he looks over to the side, and he sees this Mr. Mouse mask. Takes it, puts it on, and little Maggie Bonson says, Mary Bonson says, she says this, "I knew you'd come for me." And he goes, "We need a new mother." And she goes, "What about father?" And he goes, "Father's coming. He'll be here soon." And you're like, and then it shows the ambulance, and it shows him this guy pulled the mask off. He's not a little kid. In fact, he's like this. He's got like this deformed face. Not saying rude, because I can't think of words. And basically, he's short, and basically he pulls out, he undoes his handcuffs and he attacks the ambulance driver. Now, that was the end. Now, in my view, first of all, right, one of the things I had a problem with is he killed the deputy, right? Mr. Mouse killed the deputy at the end. And Little Rabbit killed the ambulance driver or the ambulance paramedics, right? Now you're sitting there going, but isn't this going to draw more attention to them and get them tracked more? And they're going to go into full search mode because of what they're doing. So it kind of made me think, I don't like that. Nah, I didn't like that ending at all. The movie had a little bit of suspense and it was quite thrilling at the beginning because you kind of felt bad for the characters. And Catherine Isabel, she's one of my new favourite actresses, especially after See No Evil. That was a great scene actually. See No Evil 2, I mean. And I don't know, I liked her, and I've always liked Robin Dunn. Ever since Claw Intentions 2, I've always had a soft spot for the guy. Because I've always kind of liked him. Maybe because I always see him as Sebastian. You know? Maybe. I don't know. Even though he wasn't, Ryan Philippe was the original Sebastian. But that's another story for another day. So, I did like the film, but I found in the second half of twice, after a quarter of it, so let's see, about after 25-30 minutes, I found it got really crap. And it got quite, like, you're sitting there going, you know, you don't want to, but you do, because it's just like, it's just awful. This movie's terrible. This movie's not great. I mean, it's a lot better than most horror movies that are really cheap budget, because it's alright. I'll tell you what it made me of. It reminded me of Your Next mixed with Wrong Turn. That's what it was like, except it didn't have any of the excitement in it, and it just felt they were just being followed. And there's not really any kills in it, really. Not amazing kills. I wouldn't have even called it a horror film. I hate home invasion movies because they're always the same thing. You get a few people in them walking about, being stalked. When they finally do turn up, then they start just chasing them about the house. In reality, if I go in your house and I'm stalking you, by the time I get to you, you're going to be dead because I'm going to kill you. I'm not going to go, hey, and then chase you for like half an hour, 45 minutes. I'm not going to torture you and then make it so you can get loose. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit, I mean, this was a lot better than The Strangers. As much as some people say The Strangers is a great film, it is really one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Quite literally. It's one of those films I turned off halfway through because I just went, sorry, but I did. With The Strangers. But I've got that, so I can rewatch that and I can watch it all the way through to review it. But yeah, I don't think the movie's worth people's time really. If you like home invasion movies, sure, it's one of those movies for you. But it's not scary. The only scary thing about it is Mr. Mouse, the way he talks and the way he moves sometimes. Because when he's stalking them, he just walks behind them as they run. And the way he talks is quite intimidating. But other than that, I won't recommend the film at all. The acting's terrible by everybody other than Catherine Isabel and Robin Dunn. And the rest of it just sucks. It just made me go. But I'm glad I watched it by digital download because I don't think I'd want it in my collection on my shelf. You know, I'd probably buy it for a couple of dollars on DVD. But it's just not a good film. So guys, my final thoughts are, I'll give it a 2.0 because I got through it and it wasn't a good film, but it had some stuff in it that would make people want to watch it. People who like home invasion movies should check it out because it's just one of those to knock off your list, you know. So when you watch slasher movies, you pick up the cheap ones. Some are really good, some are really bad, but you're glad you saw them. It's one of those. So yeah, I recommend if people really want to give it a go, give it a go. It's nothing special. It doesn't offer anything new. It's the same old cliche kind of home invasion movie. You sit there thinking, why are these people doing this? There's no ethical reason for it. And in that turn, it's not really that great because you just sit there going, this film could have ended 40 minutes ago. But yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. And remember to subscribe. And thanks for watching. Take care and have a lovely day.